How to Improve Personal Development and Achieve the Life You Want, Part 2. Hi, I'm Jeshua.
And I'm Takara.
From Magnificent You. In Part 1 of this series, we mentioned that there were two big things you needed in order to get the life that you want. In the first video, we talked about mastering your emotions. Now, we're getting to the second thing, which is your mindset. Les Brown says, "Don't let the negativity given to you by the world disempower you. Instead, give to yourself that which empowers you."
That is a great bit of advice. We also have a quote by Frank Outlaw, and what he says is, watch your thoughts, they become words. Watch your words, they become actions. Watch your actions, because they become habits. Watch your habits, they become character. Watch your character, for it becomes your destiny. Pretty important stuff.
Mm-hmm. And very true.
So basically, we have to ask ourselves, what is your focus? Or what is my focus? Mm-hmm. What is his focus, right? What are we focused on all the time? Yeah. Because if those two quotes are correct, we have to watch our thoughts, okay? And we have to do these things about being concerned about things that disempower us and empower us, then we have to really pay attention to where our focus is most of the time. Mm-hmm. And most people don't, right?
No, most people are just
oblivious.
Wasting their time on whatever frivolous nonsense that they're worried about at the current time.
Right.
And it doesn't even make a big impact on their lives.
Exactly. But like, this is the stuff I work with private clients with all the time, okay? So the first one is, do you focus on the news a lot? Mm-hmm. All right? If you stay focused on the news, here's what I'll tell you. The news, the evening news, the morning news, the news.
Just in general, any news.
Any news.
From whatever source that you like, whatever political spectrum or whatever.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what the source is. What it's showing you is this little tiny sliver of reality. It's showing you the worst of the things going on in the world right now. And people want to know. They want to stay informed. Yeah. You feel like you're, being a responsible citizen if you're aware of the issues. But the thing is, when you learn that there's something horrible going on over there and there's something horrible going on over there, even though consciously, your conscious mind isn't really aware that it's afraid, the subconscious mind is freaking out, okay? It is freaking out. And it is going into this major fight or flight, fear, worry, stress mode. Yeah. And if you're constantly one of those people that keeps on your radio, keeps on the news channel on television or on streaming or on, your phone or wherever it is, then you're constantly bombarding your subconscious mind with reasons to be afraid and reasons to be stressed.
Yes, and on top of that, again, no matter where you're coming from, where this news source is, no matter where this is
sourced.
Yeah, wherever this is sourced from, it's in their best interest to catastrophize.
Yeah.
So much because it gets more clicks.
Yeah.
It gets people to read the entire article or watch the entire video.
Right.
So even if the situation is not nearly as bad as they're presenting, they're going to present it in the most viral way they can.
Right.
And
the worst scenario.
The worst possible scenario. Oh, this thing just happened, so therefore, what's the worst case scenario? Oh, this is definitely going to happen. You need to be worried about it. And if they're giving a solution, they probably have monetary reasons for giving that solution.
They have a vested interest.
Yes, they have a vested interest in keeping you afraid, and what they're saying is not necessarily the truth.
Right.
And that's true for any media outlet.
That's true.
Fortunately, more people are catching on to that.
That's true. Because back in the 80s, I forget the year and the date. I looked this up a long time ago because I was like, when did all this start? Because back in the day, when Walter Cronkite was reading the news, he was literally reading the news. He was reading the facts of what's happened in the world today. Right? And it wasn't emotional and it wasn't biased. At least that's
what it seemed.
What it seemed. Maybe it was. But, in the 1980s, there was a law passed. There was a court case came before whatever court, and CNN won this court case allowing biased news.
And ever since,
It's just been cascading and getting worse ever since then.
And so no matter what your favorite outlet is, your outlet is biased for
Right.
whatever
Right.
back-end reasons that they have.
Right. So just be aware of that. But also, no matter where your source of news is, limit your source.
Yes.
Limit the time, limit your focus, right? It's not about being an ostrich, putting your head in the sand and ignoring what's happening in the world, because that's just irresponsible. Okay. But it's like, do it in snippets and be aware and get out.
Yeah.
Right. And turn your focus away.
And don't do it first thing in the morning.
No.
We have stuff on morning routines. Do the news later in your day.
Right, because that's what sets up your whole day. So if you start out with like, oh my gosh, this is happening,
Yeah.
and subconsciously you're afraid and worried, it will destroy your mood, which we talked about in the last video. It will destroy your emotions, and it impacts the mindset, which is what we're talking about right now. Okay, so we covered the news thing. The other thing is, it's kind of like news, but it's more localized. And that is, you know, if you're judging everything and you're determining that this is wrong and this is wrong, and you're pointing fingers at other people, or maybe you're self-critical and you're always finding fault with yourself, what your kids should have done, what this person should have done, how they're doing it wrong over there, telling all your friends and grandstanding around that, or standing on some soapbox and constantly talking about this negative stuff. Well, that is focused on the negative. Again, right? It's like, if you want a positive life, if you want to achieve goals and dreams beyond where you are right now, in order to be happy, you cannot focus on those things. You can't, okay? There's a really famous quote by Eleanor Roosevelt. I heard this really great quote from Eleanor Roosevelt ages and ages and ages ago, right? And it really stuck with me. And it's one of the ways that helped me stay in a positive mindset. And that is, great minds discuss ideas. Average minds discuss events. And small minds discuss people. All right? I want to be a great mind. Okay? You discuss ideas, you discuss concepts, you discuss philosophy, you discuss potential, like your potential, the world's potential, right?
The potential of those you're trying to help.
Exactly.
Yeah. If you're focusing on people all the time, and depends on how you're doing it, but if you're gossiping and nitpicking and all of that, you're just putting yourself down, and it's just...
And it's no fun to be around you.
No.
Right?
Nobody likes the gossip. And if you do, then you're probably the gossip.
Right. But the other thing is, it's like, it's not just thinking about other people and whatever. It's like, again, with what we spoke with around yesterday or the last video, it's like the mood they're in, right? If a person is constantly critical of themselves or other people, they're negative. And they are no fun to be around, right? They bring down the energy. They bring down, you can walk into the room being happy, but it doesn't take long to be around these people and you're feeling miserable.
Yeah. And so when you're the person doing that, what do you expect is going to happen with your own mood?
Right. It's just, you got to pay attention. Again, you can watch the other video and learn more about all that, right? There's another thing you can do. Rather than focusing on gossip or news or negative stuff, you can be focused on where you're headed, where you're trying to go, you know, the goals you're trying to achieve and the things you're trying to do to get there. So you have to always ask yourself, where's your focus? Now, there's another way to be focused, and that is what I call this, you know, your path to success. All along the way in your journey of achieving goals, you're making decisions. In every moment, you have a choice. Do you want to be on the left-handed path? Like, what do you not want? Right? That's the negative stuff. That's what's in the news. That's what Susie over there is doing that you don't think she should be, or Sam, or these group of people, or whatever it is you're upset about, right? Focusing on the negative is taking you down this path to achieve a life that you don't want. Okay? It's simple. Wherever your focus goes, that is what your life is like. All right? So if you decide in the moment you're going to focus on the positive, you're focusing on things like health and happiness and success as you define success. Okay. My definition of success looks very different than his, than yours, than everybody else who's watching videos around here. Okay. It's also about focusing on having a better relationship with your spouse, with your kids, with whomever, manifesting or achieving the goal of finding a positive partnership with somebody, you know, whether that's business or romance. And also maybe you want to make a positive contribution to the world or make a positive difference in the world. Those are things you have to focus on. You never achieve anything if you don't focus on it.
Yeah.
Okay. So you have to maintain this positive mindset, and in every moment you have a choice of whether you're making that or not.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Now, something pretty much in line with what she was saying, a little bit different, but kind of the same, to paraphrase Mark Joyner, life is like a bicycle. If your bicycle is standing still, it's going to fall over. So, the only way to have a life that's working and doing what it's supposed to be doing is by moving forward.
Right.
And because of that, life standing still falls apart, falls down, and since you're always moving forward in your life and the time you have is always going away slowly, you have to make the choice. Are you going to be making the decisions because your focus leads to the decisions you make and the actions you take? Are you going to take the actions that will get you closer to the things you want, or are you going to take the actions that will get you further away from the things you want?
That's right.
The way he put that shifted it for me completely. I'd never seen it that way, but it's true. You're either working toward your goals or you're working away from your goals. You're never idle. Because a bicycle that's idle is not a bicycle anymore. It's just a hunk of metal on the road. Right.
And if you think about that image I showed before with the fork, you know, we were talking about it with where are you thinking, but with what Jess is just talking about, it's like, what actions are you taking? Mm-hmm. You know, are you procrastinating? Mm-hmm. Are you staying on Facebook for hours? Mm-hmm. Are you gossiping with your friends? Or are you making a plan and taking actions toward becoming a best-selling author like I did? Or becoming, you know, getting a degree in something or accomplishing some other goal, whatever that goal is. You want to earn enough money, save enough money to go on some great trip. Whatever your goal is, if you're not taking actions in that direction, it's never going to happen. It is never going to happen. But these two videos, we're talking about the mindset you have to have and mastering your emotions, because both of those are important toward goal achievement, okay?
Because both of those give you the fuel you need to make the actions that are going to either get you there or not get you there.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. So the best way to maintain a positive mindset is to constantly inundate your mind with positive thoughts, with reading material and audiobooks and podcasts and things that are about success, that are about achievement, that are about achieving goals and achieving your dreams and turning your life around and, you know, focusing on the positive all the time. Yeah. And we have a way.
Yes, we do. Inside Russell Brunson's new Secrets of Success library and mastermind, you get access to Elsie Lincoln Benedict's How to Get Anything You Want complete training. Now, if you haven't heard of Elsie Lincoln Benedict, she is one of the greatest minds in personal development, new thought ever.
Right.
Somehow, since the time when she was doing her stuff up to now, she's kind of been forgotten.
Right.
But she was teaching these things before Napoleon Hill was even a name that anybody recognized.
Right.
And she successfully helped,
millions.
Up to 3 million-ish people back in the 20s, the 1920s, before the internet and all of these things.
And she knew what she was doing because in that time's money, she was a millionaire by the time she was 30.
Yeah, a woman.
Back before she was helping the suffrage movement to help get women the vote. Yeah. They weren't even allowed yet, but she had already made $1 million because she went around and she was teaching these principles to people, principles I've never seen before, and I've been in this for like 30, 40 years. I've been doing, goal achievement and all of that, and doing it very successfully. And the truth is, Elsie is kicking my butt, right? I'm reading her stuff and I'm like, oh my gosh, I do that, And it's like I'm correcting all kinds of stuff because I've been made aware of Elsie. Yeah. But there's so much more in there.
Oh yeah, there's so much. And when you sign up for the 3-day challenge about Elsie, which is free,
that's
you
totally
don't have
free.
To do anything, no credit card required. You'll see that even
Joe
Vitale was saying, prepping for the installment that he was on for the 3-day challenge, he was rereading some of her stuff because he's a big fan of hers, and he was like, oh yeah, I do that. Yeah. I need to stop doing that.
Right.
So,
and these are multimillionaires. Okay. Oh, yeah. Joe Vitale is multi-millionaire, right? Russell Brunson, multi-millionaire. Russell, when he discovered Elsie, was like, he fell in love with Elsie. Joe Vitale fell in love with, I'm in love with Elsie. It's like her teachings are gold, like literally gold. And if you just implement a few of them or 1 or 2 of them, your whole life can turn around.
Yeah. Just lesson 1 by itself out of the 14 lessons that you'll get, life-changing if you apply it. And there's so much more inside Secrets of Success. She's just one of many of the great minds that Russell Brunson has
put together,
gathered up. No, that's it. If you haven't, go ahead and watch part 1, because this is a 2-part series, and you're going to want to have both in order to better implement these things into your life.
Right.
Because you made it this far into the video, thank you very much. Clearly, you liked this video, and you're going to like our future videos just as much, so go ahead and actually tell us that you liked it. If you have any questions, leave a comment, and be sure to subscribe for future videos.
And be sure to think about that little image, right? And ask yourself, okay, which fork am I taking right now? Yeah. Okay, just make that a practice. Until next time.